and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hey, hi, hello, my name is Lauren. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the buzz that has been going around in the Etsy community. Yes, they are raising their fees for their Etsy sellers. Now, if you aren't aware, Etsy before and currently is taking out about 5% in fees from their sellers. This is because they are driving traffic to people's shops and making them money and making them sales. So of course, in order for them to run, they need to take out a percentage for themselves as well. Now, Etsy has just announced that they are going to be increasing that rate from the previous 5% to 6.5%. Now, this has a lot of people up in arms and a lot of angry sellers out there. So I'm going to talk to you guys all about it today, what you can expect, what you should do, and how to move forward with this and keep your business running and do the best that it can. Let's talk about how this is going to affect you as an Etsy seller first. Typically with an increase in these fees, you are going to likely end up with less money in your pocket. There's kind of two ways to go about this. You can either have less money in your pocket because you allow the new fees to happen and you don't really change any strategies, and that's okay. If you don't feel like doing that, you're not too concerned about it, don't worry about it, okay? However, something you can do in order to kind of combat this and to switch it around is to actually increase your prices on your shop. Now, I know a lot of people are afraid to do this, but to be honest, if Etsy is raising their fees, then you should likely be raising your prices to match that difference. Because Etsy is a large business, we can't always count on them to do what they say they're going to do. And if you don't see a difference in your sales, then you need to change that number. You're gonna need to change the pricing of your listing so that you can account for that new 1.5% that's gonna be taken out in seller fees. A lot of people just tend to get frustrated and think that they don't really have a choice with this or that they don't even know what to do. And those are kind of your two options. You could either leave your items the same price and not really care about it too much because Etsy is still driving you traffic, or you can change your pricing of your product to have an increase for that new percentage that's being taken out. Now, that percentage is obviously based off of what your price originally was of your product. So see how much is being taken out. If it's not that big of a difference to you, then maybe you don't feel the need to change it, and that's okay. Now let's talk about whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing that Etsy is doing. Automatically, a lot of us want to assume that when a company raises the prices on their seller fees or something like this, that it's automatically going to be a bad thing for sellers. And that's not always the case. So let's discuss it a little. Although this is an obvious plus for Etsy as a company, this could potentially be a plus for sellers as well. Etsy states that with this new increase in their seller percentage that they're taking out, they're hoping to put that money towards new marketing and advertising that will hopefully get more shoppers onto the Etsy platform. Now, I 100% agree that this may actually be a thing Etsy is moving towards, as in the past, I have rarely ever seen ads for Etsy on things such as YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. So I think that this is definitely a market that they have been missing out on for a long time, and they're really ready to step into. So as a seller, if we are seeing that the company that we are selling on, which is Etsy, is going to be spending that additional fee on advertising and marketing, we would assume that that would bring more people onto the site and therefore increase your opportunities of sales on their website as well. Now, this is the ideal situation. Obviously, there are plenty of things that could go bad or could go great with this. One of which could be that if Etsy doesn't stick to their word, and if you don't notice a big enough difference to really make that new percentage worth it. So there are obviously pros and cons to Etsy doing this, and that was just one example of how Etsy is benefiting from this and potentially how it could be a pro for us as sellers. However, to play devil's advocate with this, the other hand could be that Etsy is taking the time and money to invest in more advertising and marketing, but the results from that might not be visible to us as individual sellers, Or if they are, it may take several months or even years to really see the results from that. Because a lot of times with marketing strategies and advertising strategies, they're more for a long-term game. They're not gonna be these quick, viral, fast things that happen. And so therefore you're not going to probably see really sort of any benefit from it as an individual seller, likely at least for a short period of time. And another con to this may be that we as individual sellers don't know what Etsy is doing. We are not a part of their progress. We are not a part of their process and decision making where we get to put our word into what they spend their money and their time on and the strategies that they're using. So we as sellers would of course hope that they know what they're doing and that they're going to do the best thing for their business and for their sellers. However, occasionally that is not the case, especially with large companies. You just never know who's going to be in charge. You don't know how and what way they're going to go about things, and we just genuinely do not know how these results are going to manifest in the future, especially for us as individual sellers. Taking all of that into consideration, let's talk about what we can do as individual sellers on the Etsy platform. First, I want to focus on people who are new sellers. If you are brand new, starting out your small business, you aren't selling anywhere yet, and you are just getting started, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't let this stop you from selling on Etsy. Etsy is still an amazing platform and resource for new shops. They're going to be driving you a lot of traffic to your shop and your business that you otherwise would either have to have a very strategic marketing and advertising plan for, or you just wouldn't be making those sales. You know what I mean? So I think you need to keep that in mind if you are just starting out on Etsy, because this is likely not going to affect you in any major way. And to be fair, the difference probably will not be noticeable to you as a new seller. So I wouldn't stress about it too much, and I wouldn't let it stop you from wanting to sell on Etsy. Now I'm gonna be speaking a little bit more to my sellers who have been on the platform for a long time, people who have already developed a brand or a following for your business and kind of already know what they're doing. If this is popping up and you're feeling like, okay, this is my last straw, girl, let it be your last straw. Let it be your last straw. I think that when shops take action and show platforms that they too need a choice in things like this, it does encourage them to make changes, at least for the future. If you already have a following and a good brand, strong brand set up, I would recommend that you do two things. One, you need to go ahead and create your own website to sell on with your own domain name if you have not. You can do this through platforms such as Shopify, Wix, WordPress, or Squarespace. Those are just a few of them to name them. You should already have your own website because you never know what's gonna happen to Etsy. And as a seller, if you already have that established brand and following, you don't really need Etsy in order to be successful. They are an additional tool that can, yes, still continue to drive sales, which brings me to my second point, is that I would keep your Etsy shop and I would continue to upload those listings on there. However, it should not be your main platform that you sell on. So I would recommend completely switching over to your own website or your own platform that you are going to be making 100% of your profits from. Just make sure to keep in mind that as you are calculating out this difference, that if you are maybe somewhere in between a more experienced shop and maybe a new beginner shop and you're thinking about starting your own website, just make sure you take into consideration the expenses that come with having your own website, such as paying for a domain, paying for the platform to list your website, and maybe any additional tools that you have to have on your website so that you can make great sales. And then guys, I would just say, if you're gonna go that route, do it. I would say have both. Have your own website and also have your Etsy shop, and use both of them to drive traffic and drive you sales. I would use your own website as your primary form of driving sales and where you typically push people to, but let Etsy still give you traffic. Let Etsy still drive people to your products and make you more sales. And then you're benefiting from them as much as they're benefiting from you. Question of the day for you guys. I really want to know down below your opinion on this situation. leave it down below for me. I cannot wait to hear from you guys. I'll be answering back to all of your comments. Right here on the screen for you, I'm gonna link another video I think you guys will find helpful, as well as an entire playlist full of other Etsy related tips and tricks. And down here, you're gonna find my subscribe button so you guys can stick around for more videos. I upload twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. And without further ado, guys, that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.